Hey everybody, welcome to another Sunday Night Live. And tonight we have at least two topics for you. One is about business policies on eBay. We could hit on them for regular businesses if you want. And we are going to talk about spreadsheets since Dwayne started to help me figuring out how to set up a spreadsheet today. So, you want to say hello to everybody, Dwayne?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
What?
sorry about that. I had to go. I didn't realize that was the thing. Anyway, hello all. How are you? Glad to hear you guys or see you guys here in the chat. When you could be watching the presidential debate, but we're glad to have everybody that did decide to show up to our show. Oh, see, and Coco already knows. No, I knew Dwayne would say that. See that? They already know me.
Yes, you like to say no when I say you want to ride.
I'm gonna have to change it up.
Well, the reason why I brought up the business policies is because if you have opted in, depending on exactly when you did it or how long ago, you might have see the changes on the sell your item form. Because now, at least when you're listing something in the shipping section, it's all of the policies for shipping, payment, and returns. So you can set up your own policy that you might have regularly that automatically goes in for all your listings. You don't have to sit there and type it in every time. It's automatically there when you choose it. Or you can have it, like if you go to do an auction, you can have a completely different policy for whatever section that is. So I know I showed Dwayne that day, and he actually clicked the try it because he wasn't opted in yet. So
Yeah, very true.
So what did you think about it when
I just went back and checked it.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Chris. I just went back and checked to see if I had been. What they do is basically you hit try it, and then they have to compile all the data, so it takes a while. And I just went back in to check and see if I had gotten started with it, and I'm still waiting. So go ahead, Chris. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I was going to ask, what did you think of it when I showed it to you?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was a good idea. I don't know if it's going to benefit me a whole lot because most of mine is all pretty much the same anyway. When I do sell similar, I can either sell similar off my own things, which basically, uses my own defaults. I have a lot of the way I run it is I do a flat fee shipping for anything that's first class. I just say it's flat $4. And then if it's something that goes in a padded flat rate, it's a flat $6. So those are the most common ones I use, but it'll be nice to have an opportunity to have that already filled in for times when I don't do sell similar or I don't do basically use my defaults. So I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, because you saw how many shipping ones I had today.
Right. See, and I don't. I only ship a couple of different ways, and my return policy never really changes. It's set at 30 days right now, and I don't even worry about that. What's the other one? It is. There's the shipping,
payment, and returns.
Oh yeah, the payment plan, which is the payment email to PayPal. So yeah, none of those change very much, except the shipping changes a little bit once in a while for me. So
yeah, I had a lot of shipping ones that were like my board games I put in the large game box, so I had to charge $18.75 compared to the patterns where I'm doing first class. It's like zing, big difference in some of the patterns I was trying to do $4 shipping, and then other ones I did other tests. I was doing $5 shipping and whatever just to see what would happen. Like I lowered the price of the actual pattern and raised the dollar in the shipping. And so that pattern
Mhm.
that one came up a couple of times when I was doing set the policies. So
Gotcha. Did you notice a difference in sales when you did it that way?
not really, because but I also didn't notice a difference when I did it with the 99-cent auction with $4 shipping either. I had one that bought
Mm.
that, and they actually went and bought a second one, so they ended up getting the second one for free because I did the 99-cent $4 thing on another one without an auction,
Hmm.
just to see what would happen. And since it was going to the same
Right.
buyer, they said, "Well, I don't want to pay $8 in shipping. Can I get a discount?" And I'm like, "Well, let's see, $8 compared to if they would pay the $4 anyway, they would have been paying $8 each." So I don't, I kind of gave them back the original $4. So I lose out money because that was part of that $6 lot that I bought we might
Right.
ago. So I didn't lose money per se, but I lost money because I had still paid for the same amount for shipping. I could have made extra on the shipping if I said didn't do it for $4 back. I could have done like maybe $2 and made $2 more.
Right. Right. But you had a happy customer, so, and like you said, you paid 6 cents for the thing, so whether you made, you could have made more, but yeah, you'll catch it on the backside, I'm sure.
Well, I did when if you figured it,
So,
we figured out when you were helping me this afternoon with what we're going to talk about later, the spreadsheet. We just did a test
sure.
for that, and you figured
Right.
that's going to say 6 cents, and everybody's going to be, wait a minute, he said he spent $6, not 6 cents. But with the spreadsheet, we figured it out that it was actually 6 cents per pattern that I basically paid for. And when I sold one for $17.99 with free shipping, I made $12 on it.
Right. Right. And you made what do you figure it was like 214 times your money or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
So worked out pretty good. Well, why don't you do some shout outs?
Well, let's see.
I usually do.
Well, I got Debbie Machine that showed up. We also have Coco Chanel. We also have, let's see. Well, we have you, of course. We have Henry. We have Glenn. We have Idaho, who him and Berta Bell are both saying that they're going to be watching the debate while they're watching us.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Amelia. And way back when I first set this up yesterday instead of doing it today, like I normally do on the day of a show, Mr. Sadie
Mm-hmm.
commented and said, "Let's go." He wanted to start way early.
Right. And we just had 3 people sneak in. Prof Sales says I too late. Joni Kramer and Parrot Head Picker. Of
Well,
course you're not too late.
how can we be too late? We're only 9 minutes into the show.
Right. Have we already spilled all our guts and gave all the good info in 9 minutes?
Well, I want to know how many people in the chat actually have already had the business policies in the hub. Because, like I said, I told you this. I applied back when they first brought it back, and it didn't. I just started back this weekend.
Right.
So when you said it's going to only take 8 hours, I said maybe not. It depends on when they decide to just surprise you with it when you go to list. That's why I showed you my screen so that when you see, you're like, okay, that's what Chris is talking about when there's a surprise.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Uh-oh. Prof Sales says he's here for the spreadsheets.
Oh boy. Well, that's gonna be your little talk when we get to that part.
Right.
But
yeah, no problem there. So how have things been going in your neck of the woods, Chris?
I'm doing okay. We haven't gotten too many of the houses up, and I told you about listing one that didn't have a box, so I listed it in a local $1 auction group where if you have a buy it now price, no matter where you start your buy it now price, they start the auction at $1. So You can have it. So it could be up to $5, and you might have it at a $20 buy it now. Somebody can come in and say $20 buy it now, and they're the customer, and the auction is done.
Right, right.
So I'm doing a test run.
Nice. And you said you got a hit on that, right?
What was that?
I said you said you got a hit on that, right? So you are going to sell it. We just don't know what for.
Right. I got a $1 bid. So I'm still in the test. I'm watching it and everything else. But since I joined, this is my first actual listing for it. So I'm doing a test with that. Because there's different other ones I have. Buy it now groups. You can sell it outright in auction at the same time. So this one's actual auction only, but you can still do a buy it now price. So I wanted to see what it was like and maybe put my jewelry up there or something like that and start doing other testers and stuff like that.
Right, right. Prof Sales says he's a spreadsheet aficionado. So maybe we should have him come on and teach us all. Because if anything, what we were going to talk about today was just the very basics of spreadsheets. Chris just asked me, he had saw that I had a spreadsheet that I had made in Excel for for my business, and he was wanting to do one for him. Mine is very simple. It's nothing, I'm not stretching Excel at all. I'm using, basic functions, but seems to get most of my my needs met. So we will see if what I have out is of any value to anybody, the information that is.
And the reason I asked Dwayne to help is I figure if I'm going to be having shows and giving tips and everything else, I might as well learn about it at the same time and use what I can for my business. So it's not somebody saying, "Oh, you're just being a teacher." I want to be trying to do the best I can for everything, not just to help everybody else. I want to get better at my job too.
Yeah, we all learn here, that's for sure. I mean, I think that's the main reason we all do the shows and watch the shows. Hold on one second.
Yep. Well, so we'll be getting into that in a bit, but I guess nobody else is using the business policies. So, any questions from anybody? Well, Dwayne is dealing with his family.
Sorry about that, guys. They don't. My family has not realized how sensitive my mic is yet. So, okay, I'm back.
Let's see. What Prof says asked, can I elaborate on that? So, what exactly are you wanting me to elaborate on? And what I was talking about doing is I said it doesn't seem like too many people are using the business policies, and I thought there'd be more people wanting to know about it and stuff like that, because I think it will help businesses, especially if you have a lot of different items like hat or something like that. You can set up, this is my hat policy, and then when you have a hat, click it right in.
I agree with you, and I think he's saying the business policy. So, and I had the same question when you asked me. Is that something you can share your screen like you did with me, or is that have some information you don't want to show?
Well, let me get to, if you can talk, well, while I try finding it and see what I can share without showing any of my information.
Yeah.
I'll too tight doing some talking or whatever.
Sure. So basically what this is if when Chris gets to it, it's a way to set up things that you don't have to change, like your shipping, the business policy on shipping. It comes up and it has it has a drop down menu of the ones you've used before. So let's say 9 times out of 10 you use first class and you do a flat rate $4. So when you do a listing, it'll have a little drop down menu that says, okay, this is and you can name it or make it your default for whichever shipping you normally do. And the same thing for your PayPal, which I think 90% of us use the same PayPal all the time. So I don't even know why that's really an option, but I guess if for people that have multiples.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some people that have more than one PayPal account. So they might have one PayPal account for one store and then something like that. So
That's true.
And if
And
they lose,
then the third thing it does is makes it so you can have a default return time, so that when you do your listing, you'll just go down and it'll all be in one little spot, and you can hit defaults, and
well,
it'll be easy for to help listing.
this wasn't
All
this
right,
happened
so
back in February 2014, but they turned on the business policies now being turned on automatically for some sellers. Well, mine was turned on yesterday. But what it does, you can create and apply your policies the easy way. With business policies, you can create multiple policies either as you are listing or in My eBay or Selling Manager. What you can do is in My eBay, go to account, and then on the left side where everything else is, there should be a business policy, and then everything that Dwayne was just talking about would show up. Later in the year, they will be the only way to define these policies for your listings. So we encourage you to start using them now. So they want you to get used to them. They had them, they had them a couple years ago, and then they got away from it. And I don't know why it happened. But like I said,
yeah, I think it's going to be really helpful.
yeah. Say like I have used if you sell jeans, so you probably have one set price on your shipping. All you do is click that for a default. Every listing will have that automatically in your listing. You don't even have to retype anything about, well, within 48 hours, this and that. You can have an actual list policy with that written in already.
And it's a drop down menu. So if you have more than one thing, let's say you do jeans and then you have shirts as well, it will do the same thing. It'll make it so you can pull down and say, oh, okay, for shirts, then I use this one. For jeans, I use this one.
See, here's an example of somebody right here with payment, automatic. Listen, shipping with golf clubs over a set, flat $17. Ground, 2-day UPS ground, 2-day handling. So that automatically will come up. So you won't have to even type that back in. If you want to do individual.
Do you know how it works on? Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you know how it works if it on the mobile app does
I have not seen it on the mobile app, so I do not know. We don't really use the mobile app except for trying to, when I get a draft done, she only uses it to add the pictures if she can.
Okay. Okay, because Prof Sales said I do, but it doesn't always work for me for the mobile app, and I was just curious if you had any knowledge of that.
No, I don't. I wish I had somebody on that did, but I was just shocked when it happened to me because it's like I had to go through. Like I showed you, I'm going to stop the sharing so I'm sure everybody can see it. If not, the link, even though it's from 2014, it's from announcements.ebay.com/2014/02 attention sellers business policies now being turned on automatically for some sellers. So I will stop the sharing and come back.
Coco Chanel says, I think they are unnecessary, but that's only her opinion. Don't go hating. And I agree, Coco. For some people, it's probably not going to be very helpful. I think it'll be helpful for those that sell, a specific thing, several specific things in bulk. Like Jason sells jeans, so he may set one up for jeans, and then, like you said earlier, shirts. But if you have one-offs on everything, then it probably isn't going to be all that useful.
Well,
I think, like I said,
the only thing that's not really useful for me is because of all this different shipping. But if you did have it set for one thing, like he just said, there's some people, Jason said there's some that of his listings revert to an older policy. So they're still going back. So having all those different policies are going to help you because, in my opinion, because depending on how many things you have, you might want to try different things. Like, say you have 10 of an item. Okay, you want to list 5 as buy it now, and you want to test the other 5 as an auction. Then you can set it up as an auction buy it now with 48-hour option to pay before your unpaid case opens. That's in your fee, and then now when the buyer sees it, that's going to be written down in your description. and that's
Right.
that.
Right. I agree. Oh, we're not thinking you're hating, Coco. We know better. You love everybody. So, yeah, Jason says they're useful for simplifying entire categories, like you mentioned. Yeah, and I think that's where it's going to help a lot of people. For me, like I started out in clothing, so I have a lot of shirts and stuff like that. I've been kind of going away from clothing now, so it's a little bit more one-offs. But for all those shirts, yeah, and jeans or shirts that are heavier than a pound, then yeah, it'll be nice.
And if I would like to do our show about this topic, if we could find somebody that actually has had it for a while and knows what they're doing with it, then if you want to be on and talk, because honestly, we don't have a guest yet for Wednesday, so we were going to ask you guys what you wanted us to talk about Wednesday, or who you'd like to see us try to get for this coming Wednesday. So I think that
right. So if you guys have any idea or suggestions on who you'd like us to talk to, or even just a topic for us to go after, some people that we know quite a bit about that particular subject. So if you can, put it in the comments, and we'll take a look at it and see what we can do about finding people that match what you guys want to talk about.
And I know I have somebody possibly lined up for a week from Wednesday. They got to confirm with me this week. So, and that will be about. And if they come on, it will be about women's clothing. We all talk about men's clothing, so I figured let's switch it up this one time.
Sure, absolutely. Plus, everybody that comes on has a different opinion on different things, so it's always it's good to get people on that are different than yourselves, whether it's their business model or what have you.
Well, we're almost at the halfway point. You want to start talking about your part of the show?
I reckon I could. Now, like I said, I am not an expert by any means on Excel spreadsheets. I have a simple spreadsheet that I put together that really, uses basic math. There's not too much to it. It collects the data. I collect the data I want to, and then look at numbers that I want to look at. A lot of people, for example, I like return on investment numbers, because to me that tells me, how well I made money on what I purchased. If I purchased something for $1 and sell it for 100, minus all, net 100, then, I've done 100 times my money, which, that to me, obviously that's a great ROI, but that number, it tells me a lot more than I sold, $40,000 worth of stuff last week, because, it's easy to sell 40,000 if you bought 50, so my spreadsheets are very simple. I just, I do a net based off of, I do a gross, whatever I sold the piece for. I keep an inventory of cost of goods. When I get something, I inventory it, put it in, give it a numbers, then go through and put down the cost and where I got it, just so that I don't forget. Otherwise, like me and Chris were talking, if it's something that has been, he can't remember what he bought it for because it's been sitting in the house for 3 months. So I go through an inventory and put in where I got it, how much, that kind of stuff. And I also, at that point, I do a lot of, most of the listing is in there, whatever, sizes, if there's any defects, color, what kind of shirt or whatever, what kind of piece of equipment. So I just put it all into that. And then when I sell that item, I have another portion of that spreadsheet that I go through and I calculate. Basically, it's a monthly sales. So then it's tracked by date. I'll take my gross sales number and then subtract out all the eBay fees, the eBay shipping fee, what I paid for, the cost of goods, the shipping. If so that it all gets calculated out to a net profit, or a net profit. And then I can manipulate those numbers any which way I want to do whatever I want. If I want to go through and figure out, I have it separated. So if I wanted to see how much shirts, how much my cost of goods on shirts has been rising, I have a way to do that where I can see my average cost of goods has been going up. I'll show you my, let's see. I'll show you my inventory one. Now this is very, very simplified. Like I said, all you guys that do a lot of spreadsheets will just kind of laugh at this, I'm sure, because it's very simplified.
While you're pulling that up, I'm going to answer one thing that Southern Picker says. He said, I do most of my listings using mobile and haven't seen this business feature prop up yet and listed just before the show. Southern Picker, there are two different ways of getting to there. If you use the hub, you go click your listings and it'll be on your left side under settings, and then or you go into your account and it should be on your left side where all the other areas are. You'll see it say business policies. You click on that and it'll tell you try it now and then wait for however long it takes it to manipulate it, and it will pop up. So I waited, I don't know how many months before I got mine. So when they would tell me 8 hours, it didn't make sense. So we'll go back to Dwayne here and go ahead.
Okay, so this is my basic inventory sheet. As you can see, most of these are just shirts right now. That's the port. I mean, I have all my other stuff down here, but for example, let's just take that shirt, for example, that Nat Nash shirt. I've got enough information here that I can list just right from this inventory in most cases. Actually, in this one, I don't, because I don't have the, what do you call it? Measurements. So this is probably an in process, but here's where I figured out what my cost was, where I got it. And then from a sales point of view, we have, these are the sales for this month so far. And this is just my basic setup. Here's my gross. This is the gross sell price. So say, that's what I get from my customer. And if I offer free shipping, then it's still right here. This is what it's going to be, whether it have been 17 if it was without free shipping, or 21. So I got 21, we'll say, saying I got free, so that I paid shipping. These are the eBay fees. These are pulled right from eBay. I wish I had a macro that pulled them automatically, and I know they're out there, but I don't have one, and I don't know how to make macros. So I actually go to my account and bring up my account and see what the individual fee was for each individual item. Same thing with the PayPal. Do that all manually. I'm sure if I was selling 10, 20, 30 things a day, this would be a very tedious task, but when you only sell 1 or 2 or 3 things a day, it's not too bad. My cost of goods, I used to have it set up so that I would type in this inventory number and it would pull that in automatically, but I changed that up a little bit because of the way I do my inventory. So this is pulled right from my inventory, this cost per unit right here, based on the inventory number. And the inventory number is how I keep track of my things, so that I can, find it after it's listed. It's in my inventory system, whatever. This will be J31. So that's a jeans, for example. And then the shipping costs that I incurred for shipping that. And that just gets me to a net. Basically it's just that minus all of these different things to get a net. This is just, I just put these are the tracking numbers that I put in and where they went. This was just for fun. I didn't know, I wasn't sure whether I would like to know that I had, half my stuff went to New York or whatever, but that was just something I started a long time ago. So I kept it up. And then these are my return on investments, which is very, very simple. Basically it's just, the net that I made divided by the cost that I paid for it. So this gives me, a a decent, here I'm making 36 times my money on that particular item. Whereas this, I'm not making a lot. And mostly these ones right here are because I have my stores on sale, and I'm trying to downsize my actual shirt inventory. So that was the main reason I'm getting lower numbers here. But like I said, basically this is just my way of doing it. I also have, since eBay is only a portion of my business, I have some other incomes that, not counting my job. And my numbers are a bit skewed right now, but that's, fine. And then these are some of the manipulations that I like to do. I like to find out my average cost of goods. Is what I'm buying going up or going down? Are my sales going up or down? So actually looking at this, and I could graph it, but I don't. I can see that my cost of goods went down, which is good, from August to September. My profit, or my sales, went up, which is good. So I'm making more money. Obviously my profit's going to go up because it's basically, those are equal with when fees are taken out. And my return on investment is up to, 3.5 times my money typically. And then these are just like gross net, the highest thing I sold, the lowest thing, and how many different listings I have going on at that time. So again, like I said, it's very simplified, but it works for me. And let me see if I can stop sharing now.
Okay. Okay, it's
Still
just
sharing. How the heck did I get off?
Yeah, go back up to the screens.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Now we're back. So,
well,
I was gonna go look in the.
Well, I was gonna say, Prop Sale says you asked us if we ever used the file exchange. This is the first time I'm really getting into trying to introduce spreadsheets this week, so that's why I went to Dwayne. So I figure I'll just start small and work my way and try to figure out how to start keeping better records for myself than anything.
Right. And I was just reading through the chat. Now, GoDaddy bookkeeping, I did that for a while, and that's really good for running the expenses in your business, because you can dump right from Amazon and eBay. I did it for a long time. So you can explain, whatever this, this was cost of office supplies. You can segregate it and categorize your expenses. But like Prof Sale says, there's really no way to do a good inventory system or a way to keep track of cost of goods, because typically cost of goods isn't realized until you sell. So you'll have, unless you use the inventory system of doing your taxes, and that's a whole different, concern. And I'm not a tax person, so. But yeah, I used GoDaddy for a long time for my help controlling and categorizing my expenses. So let's see what else. Can you add fields to it? Coco's talking to Prof Sales. That's good.
Prof Sales says FE file, the file thing that he was talking about, allows you to download your sales record from eBay in CSV format.
Right.
So
exactly.
It'd be easier, make it easier than going list to list.
And you can usually you can cut and paste it CSV into an Excel or a different kind of format. That's just where comma delimited, like Prof Sales here. Inventory is an asset and COGS is an expense, and that's true. But you can't, to my knowledge, you can't realize a COGS until you've actually sold it. So when you use GoDaddy, there's a lot of expenses that you can't claim as a deduction because it hasn't been realized yet. So yeah, and the VLOOKUP, that's the way I've done it before. Sorry, Chris, the VLOOKUP is where you put it into a basic database, an array of numbers. You can dump it into an array of numbers and then say, okay, if I put this number in, inventory number, when I said the cost of goods automatically came in, that's what he's talking about with the VLOOKUP. So you're right. You're right, Jason. There is no perfect way for eBay. I wish there was. I know there's some third party things out there like Auction Tracker and stuff like that. But I think it's because everybody does eBay so differently and they want different numbers. You know, you may want to know, you know, sales per day or sales per week, where that doesn't make any difference to me because I don't have that many. I think it's such a fluid thing with the eBay business that there's no one set way to do it very good. Yeah, and that's exactly exactly right. Prof Sales said he's working on one that is a version for him, but it's time consuming, and that's exactly what I'm going through too. That's why I was trying to help Chris. Just give him a plain and simple one to start, and then from there you can detail it out, pimp it out any way you want.
And that's why I was sitting there when you were trying to tell me, and you're like, so what do you want to hear? What do you want to hear? I'm like, I don't know yet. I haven't really sat down, and I just wanted to have a basic idea of what I was going to get myself into before I even started typing anything in the keyboard.
Exactly. And the more you get into it, you'll realize things that you're interested in. You know, maybe you may be interested in you know, total percentage of fees based on a sale, which I don't care. But remember how you were saying different categories have different eBay percentages and final value fees based on category. That's why I pull from eBay itself for my from my eBay account, because I don't want to keep track of, okay, this is actually in a shirt, so it'll be this percent plus 30 cents. I just go and say, yep, this is what eBay charged me for that particular sell. So wow, that was whew, I haven't talked that long in a long time.
Honestly, that's what I get for not having a topic right away.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, mine was I wasn't planning on explaining, you know, how to do a spreadsheet, because that is a lot more time consuming than just explaining my very basic inventory and profit and loss setup. So Jason says, I have a lot of people wanting to buy a copy, but it's tough to explain to someone, so I'm working on a simpler one. Well, Jason, like I said, when you do, it's everybody's going to want something a little different because everybody's business is different. So if you are working on one to actually sell, I would probably say leave it as wide open as possible, with keeping just the bare bones as a good stable base, and then making it so that everybody else can change it any which way they want. So that's just my opinion, is leave it up to them to tailor it the way they want it to, but make it simple enough that they can use it right off the bat, which that's the hard part.
Well, I don't see any questions for us about any other topics, but I do have one. I kind of didn't. I'm gonna spring it on you in a way, because I thought about it earlier, but I'm not talking about the one I talked about before the show. It's a whole different one.
So you're trying to catch me off guard, huh? I see. Okay.
Well, it kind of just came to me again, because of doing about the business policies. You had to go to the hub to get there and type of thing. Well, in some of the groups I've noticed, there are certain people that are complaining about the hub itself, that everything's disappearing, or like things that they're used to are either disappearing or they're getting moved over there and they don't know how to find them, and yet they, instead of trying to figure it out and work with the system till they can figure it out and like it again, they're all complaining, I wish they would get rid of this. I want to go back to the old way. If we want to really go back to the old way, let's go back to the 90s. Then you get all your money back. Let's see, you get cash, you get the checks, you get all that. There's a lot more things you have to deal with. Really want to go far back.
Sure. Yeah, back to the Wild West, right?
Exactly.
When the eBay Seller Hub first came out, I opted into it for a while, and I, just like everybody else, okay, the thing about everybody, it's change is uncomfortable for most everybody. You know, I've always done it this way. Everything's going good. Why do you have to change it? But I think after a time, like I said, I opted in for a while, and then I got out and I was like, oh, forget that. It's just bugging me. But then I said, you know what? It's going to change over to this. I might as well get in now and start figuring out. Nothing has been lost. Just how to find it is a little different now. And I like it a lot because before you didn't have a central desktop basically where you could say, here's my listings, here's my orders, here's my account. I mean, it gives you a desktop that is a quick glance at your whole operation. You'd always have to, you'd have to go into your account and see, or go into your feedback and say, oh, okay, yeah, I got a new feedback, or, go into your listings to see if there were any that weren't, that need to be relisted or something. So I do like that. At first, yeah, like everybody else, it's a little uncomfortable, but all the same things are still there. They're just a little different. I bring it up like changing windows. Everybody wants to stay with the windows they have just because they're used to it. But once they, like let's say XP to Windows 7, that was a pretty big jump for most people. I had worked on XP for a long time. Sorry about that. I was very unhappy when they went to 7 at my work. I was like, don't, you're messing me up. But in reality, it's just a different way of doing the same thing. They hide some things, they make some things that a lot of people want a little easier and more accessible. And I think that's what the hub does, is it makes things at a glance pretty easy to find.
Yeah, especially when.
What are we?
Well, I was gonna say with your, like, when you showed me earlier, we were just fooling around, and I jokingly said to you, "Oh, you got three orders." It's like they tell you what your tasks are. They tell you, if you go down far enough, they tell you what your competition's doing. If your competition's at 10%, you've had a couple of sales in a certain category, you might get 400% better than what your overall is doing. So it tells you the right category for what you're doing is making sales.
Exactly. And like I said, it's just a matter of changing. It's going to change over, so you might as well suck it up now and go figure it out while people can, are still easy. Everything's still on people's minds. So let's see. Parrot Head, I still haven't even activated the hub. Jason said you should. Well, you can always revert back. Coco said that she finally did. So, hey, if Coco did, I mean, goodness. You know how stubborn she is. She even says she's pretty stubborn. So if she's done it, then yeah, everybody should.
And
hey, have a good night, Jason.
I was gonna say, yeah, good night, Jason. Henry asked, how hard was working on Walking Picker with the spreadsheets? I think
it's not hard. Like the hardest part is you can explain the basics, but until he gets in and messes with it a little bit, I don't know what he needs, what he, his question. He doesn't know what his questions are until he gets in and plays with it. You don't know what you know. If you've never done it, you don't know what your questions are going to be. So, yeah, it was very simple what I did. And I just explained to you guys a lot of what I did with him. I just went into a little bit more detail on specifics and a little bit of the specifics on the formulas and stuff like that. But after he plays with it for a while, he'll come back with a bunch of questions, and hopefully I can answer those. I did
it right, and there I am. It's like I might have figured it out by myself, and I just might want him to double check that I'm doing things right. So when I start making more sales, because like I keep saying, I got all these houses behind me. I got things I want to get listed. I want to be able to keep track of what's, especially for the next year type of thing, if I can. Okay, I know what to get for the future.
Right. And that's all my inventory system does too, is it makes it like me and Chris were talking, is if I go out and buy something today and I list it and put it in my inventory, not necessarily list it yet, but at least get it into my inventory sheet, then I know how much I paid for it. I know where I got it. And then, obviously the other stuff is not as important to do then. You can do it at any time, taking measurements or anything. But for me, if I do it right then, a lot of the listing portion is already done. It's just a matter of sell similar and go in and fill in the blanks of all the stuff that I've, already have on my spreadsheet. So.
And I know they have an Excel, but I also know that they have Google Docs. We didn't look into that. We went through the Excel. That's what you had. And I have Excel on the computer.
You know what?
If you don't have it, they may have Google Docs that you can look and do all that stuff too.
Yeah, I'll tell you that nowadays, I would say 98% of the spreadsheets are all the same. They're all based off of Excel. Some of them are a little bit different, a couple little differences. They like the Open Office one has a couple little differences. I had that for a while, but they're all just about the same. There's just a couple of different things about it that you just have to learn to be a different, whether it's a different file opening or whatever. So the other thing that Pross said is okay, gotta go, guys. Great show. If you ever want more spreadsheet info, I can share mine one night. So maybe if we do have somebody that if people are more interested in learning an Excel or an inventory / spreadsheet program, we could have him come on and maybe go into a little more detail. So just a thought. What are you guys thinking in the chat?
Yeah, I'm not seeing too
You guys
many.
sure are quiet tonight, all 19 of you.
Well, we were over.
And Chris was expecting a smaller show.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them are listening to, they're listening to us and trying to read the debate, or they're listening to the debate and trying to read us.
Sorry. Lip read that, buddy. No. Yeah, no, I understand. So, any questions in the chat?
I haven't seen any. Only when I saw
Yeah, when we answered that one. So, what about topic ideas, guys? Anything you guys are interested in hearing more about, or particular person you want to, talk to or learn from? Because we have an opening here next Wednesday. This week, yeah. So in 4 or 5 days, if we can get somebody on that you guys would be interested in listening to, maybe we can work on that. If not, it'll probably just be whoever we can grab out of a hat and will show up.
Q&A. We don't know yet.
Yeah, or another Q&A, exactly, which is kind of what tonight is. So, let us know what you guys are interested in. If it's Etsy or eBay or listing, or there's so many different facets of the reselling business. We just need to know what you guys want to know about.
And if there's somebody out there you want us to have on that we haven't had on, we can do our research and reach out to that person, and maybe they not be on this week, but if we get enough people excited or wanting to come on like I did when I first started the show way back in 2014, and Dwayne, I'm sure you were watching back then, I had my schedule. I told you, okay, 2 weeks, this person's coming on. In 3 weeks, this person's coming on. Mm-hmm. Or at least I had 2 weeks ahead of time. I might have planned a month ahead of time. I was letting you guys know 2 weeks in advance. That way you can say, okay, I want to be home for this. Or I don't want to see him. Or I don't want to see this one. So.
Parrot Head Picker says, have any of you noticed the customers select INAD as a return option to get the free return shipping, even if nothing is wrong with the item? I have. I've had it done twice, but based on, and I can't even remember how I've resolved them. I think I just paid it and didn't worry about it. As long as it was, fairly justified and not, super expensive. Most of my shipping is very cheap. It's $4 and $6. So, and if that does happen now, it happened to me quite a while ago. I would definitely just, go through the motions, get as much documentation as you can through eBay communications. Find out if you can. And I hate to say this, but if they're trying to scam you, find out if you can get them to admit why they're returning it. If it's something that really is not as described, or if it's just they're just doing it that so they can get their automatic shipping back. But and then go to eBay customer service and go through it that way.
I haven't had any returns except for one, I think, in a long time, and that was a perfume that we started to relist, but now we can't relist it as new because they opened it and used a little bit about, and then they realized it's not the right one. It says right on the box what it was, so how can it not be the right one?
Mm-hmm. Right, and I really believe that eBay is getting a lot better at looking at both sides by unbiased. I mean, not all the time, of course. There's going to be bias and everything, but I've heard of a lot of people that a lot of sellers that have just contacted eBay when they have a problem. They document it the best way they can, and they show to eBay this is what happened. And eBay has been siding with a lot more sellers lately, based on proof. If it's your word against theirs, then they're going to win. But if you say, well, here it says it's this color, and when it got there, it was brown instead of black. Well, no, it says it's black, so it's obviously, if it is black and they expected brown, or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you never know. The buyer might have what's the word I'm looking for? Color blindness, so they might see black as brown and brown as black.
Exactly. Will Resell, how are you? Hey, what's going on, guys? Just logged on and noticed you guys are live every Sunday night and every Wednesday night, unless for some reason there's a vacation or something,
and
or we're just too lazy.
Parrothead said he had 2 returns in the past 3 weeks that the customer loved the item, but then selected the INAD to get the shipping paid. Drives me nuts. I accept I know it's cost of doing business.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so he just put again one example. Buyer said they loved the shirt, really nice, just not for me. Then selected INAD. See, and from that right there, if that's the communication that you got through the eBay system, you can go through and fight that. You can just say, see, right here, they loved it, but it's just not for them. That is not an INAD. I mean, that is not an item not as described. So you can go right to eBay and say, that whatever is done here, it should be done in your favor because it's in their system, because they go through and look and verify, through their communication system is how they judge on cases. So it sounds like you got some pretty easy cases to win. All you have to do is get a hold of somebody that would take care of it for you.
NT Picker showed up, said, "What's up, everyone? Did everyone make out okay? Who got hit by hurricane?" And then he went on to say that his ground floor got flooded. What can you do? Entire storm has been trying to squeeze you out the water.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like any fun. Hopefully you got your sourcing stuff out of the basement there, or ground floor. Parrothead also asked, do I fight it before issuing the refund or just call them afterward? I would
start with the fight first.
Yes, I would do the complaint first, because otherwise you're going to, in the system, eBay system, if they pick INAD, then you're going to have to pay the return shipping. So I would go through it and maybe call eBay customer service and say, look, this is where I'm at. You can see that I've done my part. I will refund them. I just don't feel that, that they should, that I should have to pay the return shipping. The other thing that I've done several times is, how much is the return shipping and what is it? I mean, is it something that, it's just not for them? Is it something you can resell once you get it back? Or is it something that, is the $4 your entire profit margin? In that case, it's just like, screw it, keep it. You know what I mean? If it depends on what the item is. If it's a higher dollar item, then yeah, I'd fight it. If it's just something for cheap, I wouldn't really make that much of a difference. The reason for his concern is he doesn't want to lose your top rated seller. Now, INADs don't have anything to do with your top rated seller anymore, unless there is a, unless you do not, what is it? I'm trying to remember what they say. Unless there's some, a case is not settled, period. If there's, I'd have to go back and read exactly what it says, but basically it's if you didn't try and take care of your customer. So
Yeah,
but I would definitely call either way, just like
it's something like
I'm
resolved.
sorry, what, Chris?
I was gonna say it was something like resolved with buyer or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. If the case is never resolved. So, but I would definitely call and talk to eBay about it. The worst they can say is, you'll have to pay the shipping. You're not, depending on what it is. And like you said it was a shirt, so it couldn't be that much shipping. So you may, but you'll be able to at least get a hold of eBay and show them what's going on.
Will I know if any big sales for us? I haven't had any sales this weekend. I haven't had a sales.
I've had a bunch of little sales. Yeah, I've had a bunch of little sales. I'd have to go look if anything good. I don't think so. Otherwise, I would remember. Well, maybe I'm getting old. So,
And then,
I'm looking at my eBay here. So
Glenn said he had a return last week that gave him great feedback because he handled the problem quick.
That's what you like to hear right there. Let's see. I sold 1, 2, 3. I sold 4 shirts, a cross-stitching thing, and a mug. So nothing really. Okay. I did come across one thing I should talk about. I had somebody do to me what it happens to a lot of people where on a best offer, somebody added shipping, which they're not allowed to. And I really wish that eBay would take that off the table when it goes to in the when you get a best offer in there in the terms they say includes non-expedited shipping. Well, this happened to me, and it was a shirt that was going to Mexico. So not only was it just they wanted the shirt, but shipping to Mexico, which was quite a bit more than I had expected. So I went to him and I said, I explained to him, I said, according to the eBay policy, you can't include shipping on the best offer. So would you please cancel the order because you're not allowed to do what you did? And he said, well, I'm not the one with the issue. You cancel it. So what I did is I just went in. When I canceled it, I said, buyer wanted me to cancel it. And it went just fine that way, which I expected him to complain, saying that he didn't want the return, but or the cancel, but it went just fine. Let's see. Glenn asked me the hat behind you, World War II. Which hat? This ugly thing? That? No, this is just a cheap old Pug's hat because I'm, when I work outside. That's the only hat I have back there, Glenn. I wish I had a World War II hat, but I don't. So.
And for everybody that's wondering, there is no mail tomorrow. Remember, it is Columbus Day.
Or what is it? What is the politically correct term now? Indigenous Peoples Day or something? Isn't that what they're trying to get it changed to?
I don't care. I'm just saying it's Columbus Day. Anyway.
I agree. I'm with you. Until it's legally changed, that's what I call it too.
Well, I brought it up because NC, like I said, this is the first time he's hoping for no sales today because he didn't have time to change the handling time and won't be able to get stuff out tomorrow. So I had to remind him that it's a holiday tomorrow.
Yeah, lucked out for him.
And for some reason, I got a pesky cat down here wanting me to pet him, even though we've never done this before.
Any other questions in the chat, guys? Anything? All 20 of you? How about giving us some thumbs up? We don't get thumbs up all the time, and I don't normally ask, but
yeah,
maybe
we're
I can.
about the same amount we had last Wednesday. When we hey.
Oh yeah, I believe you're supposed to tell people about the stuff in the down below.
Oh, I didn't do it.
The links.
Yeah, I actually didn't do it this week. Okay, so
How am I supposed to remind you if you don't do it? Okay. So,
well, I'll definitely do it Wednesday.
how about you guys in the chat? Did you guys have any good sales? What'd you say, Chris? Sorry, while they're thinking.
Most of the people in the chat already know about the links for my other videos because they're royal watchers. But for the people that catch the shows willy-nilly here, in most cases I have links below where certain groups that I'm an admin in or I own, and other links in between, like for when we have on Wednesday nights, where our guest links are in the descriptions as well. So use those links and find what you need to find and join what you need to join and have fun doing it.
Yeah, what he said. Well, I appreciate the extra thumbs up. Look at that. We have almost as many thumbs up as we have likes now. I mean, watchers. Look at that.
Well, that's good. And I knew ahead of time we weren't going to hit our usual 30 to 40 watchers tonight, like I said, because I knew it about the debate. Plus, the WWE had their pay-per-view tonight, too, so.
Parrot Head Picker just sold a Logitech Quick Cam that he got in a box at a garage sale for $1 for $69 today and was only listed for 20 minutes. Awesome. See, those are the kind of sales you really like, right? Will Resell wants to know if we do haul videos.
I have in the past, but I don't anymore.
And I don't. I have thought about it. Thought about doing some kind of haul videos, but I have not taken the plunge yet. So, oh well, thank you, Amelia.
Well, the reason I don't anymore is, and a lot of people don't. I think, yes, there are a lot of people that I may not know that. Because I know there are a lot of people that do eBay videos, but they don't necessarily do shows like we do. But so a lot of people complain about the haul videos hurting the business and everything else. So I'd rather have that. That's part of why I'm not going to get into the spreadsheets, so I can start doing some sort of sold sale videos again in the future. And then
right.
Because the hauls are a little different. Because when you say I expect to get this, and then you come back with a video saying, or you say on a show you didn't get it. Well, wait a minute. Why am I going to believe you when you? So if I say I sold something at this price, right there isn't proof. At this time, that's what it sold for that person.
Sure. And I've actually talked about or thought about doing haul and sell videos where, I do the haul video, and then I go back and edit it after the items have actually sold. So, but I don't know how well that would work yet. I haven't figured it all out. Margaret, Texas Gal Treasures, has given up on the political debate to come talk to us, so that's good.
Yeah, she gave up on it right when we're past our hour mark. See, she
well,
in the first 10 minutes, then she would have been here in time to hear all the information.
Right. Well, the great thing about this is they can always go back and hear to the replay. It's not as fun without the chat, but so let's see. Well, hey, Margaret, anything you want to learn about?
Yeah, you can ask questions, Margaret. We're still here for a little while. Happy birthday, Aaliyah.
Happy birthday, Aaliyah. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
How old is Aaliyah? I'm guessing probably 5, maybe.
I'm thinking about 6 or 7.
Okay. Okay. Well, maybe he'll come back and tell us how old.
Steven wants to know, do I have that?
What?
I think he's talking about
House lit?
either he's talking about the house lights or he's talking about my house things that are right here
Oh.
behind
Oh
me.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. All those. Yeah. Oh, she turned 9. Wow, we were both wrong. Well, very nice. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like everybody's gonna say her name.
Yep. And yes, Steven, I still have 20 something listings to go. I got a couple up on eBay already. I said talked about this earlier. I have one up on a local auction group. So I have right now, last I saw, I still only have $1 bid, but I got them for free. So $1 is $100, 100% profit. No fees for listing, no fees for PayPal, no fees for.
There you go. That makes your number crunching easy. You got it for free. You sold it for $1. You make $1 profit. No, no having to do any math there.
I'd like to make more.
Oh, her kid is losing her mind right now. That's funny.
Well, I'm glad your kid's losing their mind. But hopefully she finds it so it doesn't run away.
Yeah, that would be bad. I need to check out your houses. Amelia likes your houses. You better see, you cut her a good deal. You know, start showing a couple, put them on eBay. Maybe she'll buy them from you.
Oh, there's different brands in them. So, oh yes, Amelia. So, like two that I got like 4 home action holidays right here. These are the ones that are in the red. And oh, guess who showed up in the chat?
Wow, look at you, Roxy. I haven't seen you in the chat for a while. There are thousands of different styles on eBay, I'm sure. I imagine that is a very often sold item for around Christmas time, I would guess.
Well, Amelia, you already follow my store, so you know what you already know what 4 are already up.
There you go.
Yep, and voice says different manufacturers, different years. So yeah, there's a lot of. And see if I can ask if we know it.
Tribe masks.
Never heard of them.
Me neither.
What? Amelia does.
Oh, very good. There you go. See? Retail arbitrage. We'll resell. Ask about that. I'll get to your question in just a minute, Henry. I don't do retail arbitrage unless it's accidental. I think a couple of other people have said it basically the same way. If I come across something that's just like no kidding, oh, you've got to buy this because it's got to be worth something, I will. But for the most part, I don't. I just don't. I don't enjoy that portion of the reselling the business. Retail arbitrage does nothing for me.
Yeah. The only time I do
Henry,
on clearance.
Oh, go ahead.
Like I say, all I do is
right, exactly.
Like when the store was behind, when the store that we were behind was closing, that's when we were looking for the clearance because we were like, okay, wait a minute, they're getting ready to close. Let's see what we can get. Otherwise, I don't go out looking for actual stuff. Because I'm not Amazon anyway, so eBay, you don't necessarily need to do retail arbitrage on eBay. Retail arbitrage is more for Amazon, for FBA type of stuff. And even then, it's getting very hard with all the restrictions that they're starting to put people on.
Right. And I'm like you, unless there's a clearance or something, I don't really do it. Henry wanted to know how my Etsy stuff is going. I actually have, it's a week old now, and I've only have one thing in there because I don't have a lot of Etsy valuable stuff, but it seems to be doing good. I've had a couple of people like it or whatever. I'm still trying to get the hang of what teams are and favorites and loves and all, just all that kind of stuff that I'm still trying to figure out. But I have had a few people come in and look at it and like it, so it's moving, just slow.
Well, why aren't you supposed to have somebody teach you how to do that?
Yeah, I talked to Margaret, or actually my wife talked to Margaret on the phone, and then she went through and asked a bunch of questions to Margaret, and she was thoughtful enough to let us have a little bit of her time so that she could explain some of the Etsy stuff, because it's not just looking at it, it's not the same as eBay. The way things are described and categories and keywords, and it's a little bit weird. So we just needed a little bit of extra help on that. So Margaret helped us out, and very much thank you, Margaret.
Well, if Margaret's still in the chat, maybe we can, since we still haven't got anybody from Wednesday, maybe she can come back on again and do another thing on Etsy.
Oh, well, you would have to ask her.
Oh, I don't see her in the chat, so I don't know. She may just pop in and say,
we'll have to. Yeah, it might be. Well, we'll work on that. Parrot Head Picker said, I do retail arbitrage only when the wife won't leave a store and I'm bored out of my mind. I start randomly scanning stuff, then only. It's boring. Just my opinion, of course. Usually Hobby Lobby. She never leaves that place. Yep, I understand. My wife is a very social person, so anytime we leave the house, like if we go grocery shopping, I go grocery shopping. She goes and talks. She'll find somebody and just that, because we've lived in the same area for quite some time. And so she can spend like 20 minutes talking to the person while I grocery shop. So,
okay. Will says he's well on inventory. Figured me to ask if it's worth it. My suggestion to you, Will, is either go to the thrift stores every day, or you can start looking on Facebook groups itself. Like I said, for all I know, somebody that might buy my thing, if they get it for $1, they can turn around and resell it, like want to resell it somewhere else on eBay or wherever to make a bigger profit. You can also look on eBay itself. There's a lot of people that make mistakes in their spelling on their titles and everything else, and they start doing the auctions at 99 cents. Now you got to pay shipping. So.
Right. So are you just low on inventory because of garage sales ending this year, or what is it? We'll sell. We'll resell, I mean.
How long have you been doing it? So for all you know, you might have started a month ago, and that can be a reason why you're low on stuff too. And if that's the case, look for things in your house that you and your daughter don't want or use anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You're biased, Roxy. You don't count. You can't say good show. Come on. Bet you can't tell I don't like to talk. Really? Coco, really? Really?
Well, that's fighting with Coco. Earlier she said that we actually got more watchers than talkers, and usually it's the other way around.
Right, exactly. Will Resell says he sold about 300 items. Total?
Yeah, he says he's down to
like 40. Well, that's good, actually, then. See, you're doing well. I think Deb once, reseller, Pinching Pesos, said, it's good to have, if some people complain that they can't get up to like 200 listings because things keep selling. It's like, well, yeah, that's what you want. You want the things to keep selling. So.
Items, she said, though. It doesn't matter how cheap it is. And
right.
That's how when I made some of my patterns, I had them like $4 or $5. I made my money back within the fourth quarter last year after I told everybody about them. I made my money back, so I was like, I stopped growing the price, whether they're high or not. They move. I still make a profit on everything else except the fees. Everything else is pure profit after that.
Well, and I know some people that also they hustle around pawn shops and stuff, because he said he or she, I don't know who it is, playing cards and video games. I do know that people do go to pawn shops and can get decent video games sometimes if in bundles and stuff like that. So you might try that as a way to. I mean, you're not going to. That's probably not the best way to make the most money, but it's a way to get some inventory that you're not getting now.
And you can also put ads on, like I said, the Facebook groups. Put an ad in there, certain ones of your local groups, if they allow it. Or put it on a Craigslist in the video game section.
Sure.
I'll buy your video games.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Make it watch ad, hand out business cards when you go to a yard sale or something like that. Somebody asks if that's when you're ready to get rid of your video games, especially when you see a teenager.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, there are ways to do it. There's always more out there than you can think of. There's just so many different avenues to source. The problem, main thing is a lot of them don't. They either don't sit. You don't get the items you typically sell, or you have to expand your knowledge on things. You guys have any groups I can join to maybe start learning? That's okay. You, Chris.
Well, too bad I didn't have the links in the group chat this time. I usually put the links in the description, Will. There's the Reseller Society on Facebook. There's also the Net, which is a bunch of us YouTubers made it. Other ones were founders, and then others were made into admins. So I have the National Advice eBay.
International.
No, national. It's the national eBay advice. I was in an advice group or something like that. I can't remember exactly now. That's how I keep remembering my own group. And then I'm in a couple of other groups too. So.
Yeah. Do you care if I call out some groups that we all know that people that I would go to?
You're
like
International Thrifters.
Right. The International League of Thrifters is a good one. That's Tanya
and Margaret.
Yes, thank you. So.
And then there's also Reseller Stew, which is based for the Tuesday morning afternoon show. But
right. Let's see what's up. Pinching Pesos is a pretty good one. That's Deb Coitia. She usually has some pretty good information on there. The Reseller Learning Curve, that's April's. She has some pretty good information there. There's quite a few good ones. There really is.
And my wife put in the one that I was having a very hard time saying.
The National Reseller Advice, eBay, and Amazon. There we go. So I would start with there, and basically, if you go to one of those groups, they have other groups that blossom out from that. Basically, Alabama Pickers is another good one.
I want to do this before he goes. He said, "Before I go, Roxy, yes, please contact me about the trains." And see, I'm assuming you're on Facebook, so you can either contact her. Her name's spelled differently on Facebook, XYIE, or you can get a hold of me through my page or through my regular name, and we can work something out for about the trains. So,
well, there you go. Yeah, the Golden Finger Picker group.
He has Chad has his own group, but he doesn't do as much in that group.
That's true. He does. He leaves most of it to the Reseller Society.
Yeah, and I did too, and then I'm still trying to keep things going in my group, and I also have a local group, but nobody on YouTube is from my area, so I don't necessarily have to promote that.
Right. So yeah, there's a lot of good groups out there. Like I said, if you join one of the smaller groups, a lot of the people in those groups also have channels and stuff, and it kind of blossom out from there. So there are quite a few. But I'd say those are the big ones: Alabama Pickers, Pinching Pesos, Reseller Society, and Deb's Pinching Pesos. Yeah, reseller. Yeah.
Deb has her other one, the 1500 Club. If you make $1,500.
Yeah. Actually, I think that was the original intent, but I think it's more just for intermediate pickers is what she's looking for. So
I know, but yeah, if you figure 1,500 is about intermediate. The higher up ones will be 5,000
right.
more. So
That's true. That's true.
And
so, there you go, Will. We've plugged a whole bunch of clubs, or Facebook groups and YouTube stations for you.
And my wife was saying, if you go into the groups, check out the files on each group, because there are going to be the rules and their pinned. Most of the groups have rules on their pinned posts, and then in the files, they're like in the Research Society, there's follow lists and stuff like that. So you never know what you'll find out what you need to get better.
And Parrot Head Picker said, "What's the $1,500 club? $1,500 sales a month." It's an intermediate reseller group run by Deb Goitia she does Pinching Pesos as well. So I think it's called the $1,500 group. I don't think it's club.
I think it's room.
Oh, maybe it is room. Let me look on my my Facebook real quick. So let me look real quick, and I'll tell you. It's the
as you said.
Yeah, you're right. It's the $1,500 room. So
and she has a set standard for people to be in that group. That's why I haven't tried to join it, because I know I may have the knowledge of being intermediate, but I'm not making the money to be intermediate, in my opinion.
Right. And I think, and like I said, I think more importantly, it's the mindset as an intermediate reseller, not a group for beginners as much. So.
And I'll say,
but yeah,
the Research Society has everybody from knowledgeable to the newbie. My group,
absolutely,
we tried making it more for the newbies, for the easier questions, because when you see a lot of the same questions from newbies, a lot of older sellers get upset and complain and everything else. But we still want everybody in the Research Society to be comfortable. So you got admins like me that will sit there and argue with people for it.
Yep, exactly. So, any other questions out there? Oh, I was reading Roxy. I guess we should read it out loud so other people could get it, right?
Yeah,
so Roxy said, in the National Reseller Advice eBay amazing Amazon group files section, it contains various training and techniques such as listing, researching, photography, shipping, measuring, clothes, etc. So that sounds like it's a good place to go. Will says, when should you worry about taxes?
I'm not. We don't usually answer tax questions on this, on my show anyway, or on most of the shows. Most of the time,
right? Nobody wants to do that.
Go local, talk to your local tax person, because technically, once you make $1, you're supposed to worry about taxes.
Exactly. It depends on who you ask. Your best bet is to claim it all to the IRS, but talk to a CPA. A certified public accountant. They'll help you know what invoices to keep and receipts to keep and ways to make your business work better. So
yeah, and I don't think of any YouTuber that's actually a lawyer / CPA for any of the legal questions. That's why most people say find your area. That way you get the news, and then it's wrong news, you can't come back on the people that you're listening to on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a matter of liability. Plus, there are every single state, city, country, depending on who's listening, have their own tax laws. So there's no way anybody could know all of them and be able to give it out at a good, reputable rate. So.
Well,
So,
we're actually going way over for us, considering we usually go an hour. We're almost at the hour and a half mark.
and we
So,
really didn't even talk about anything. I mean, most of it was just BSing. We did the first half hour, well, maybe the first 40 minutes on our topics, and everything else has just been,
answering questions.
hanging out. Yeah, basically.
And we still didn't get. Okay, Will, since you're new to the show, besides taxes, give us ideas of topics that you'd like to have on Wednesday night or Sunday night, or people that you want to have on our show, be on the show with us, that we can maybe reach out to help you learn better. I know you're going to be new to the group, so it's going to be harder to really know unless you've been watching a lot of different videos. But we want to make it to where everybody can have saying what's going on in the show. It's not just my show. I call it my show, and I call Dwayne my co-host. But without you guys, we wouldn't have a show.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, any other questions, comments, or should we sign on out?
I think we should sign out. Well, I'll read my wife's comment. Okay, well, here we go. Well, Will wanted to know what about brands. Now, see, there's different what brands. There's clothing brands. There's brands of video games. There's brands depending on what your topic is.
Yeah, you need to be a little more specific on what
well, yeah, I think that's or good things to get picked.
Good things to get picked.
Well, you meant get picked.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically what the haul videos would tell you. So, but
yeah, if I was you, I would go back to the YouTube, and look up some haul videos. A lot of those deal with clothing and good. They talk about brands a lot. If you're interested in clothing, Ronnie Hart is a good person for men's clothing.
And he has a series of brands. Like he literally has a video on Robert Graham and all that.
Yeah, Robert Graham. I don't know of anybody right now that does haul clothing of women's necessarily off the top of my head. But yeah, I'd go to YouTube and just type in what you're looking for, clothing brands that sell well. But Ronnie Hart does very well with men's clothing. April Buchanan does as well. So that's where I would go.
And like I said, tentatively we're gonna have a guest, not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, to talk about women's clothes. I'm still trying to figure out. I gotta get confirmation this week. So, and Will, don't feel bad about asking that question. You're a newbie. That's what I'm saying. Like in the certain groups, when you ask something like that, some people would be like, "Well, what work have you already done?" I've even gone off and said something to that somebody. I'm an admin, because it does get a little tedious, but
not in this situation. So yeah, just do a little bit of research on YouTube. You'll probably find all the answers you'll ever want. Okay, there you go. Parrot Picker go check out his. He does Friday Finds videos.
Wait, before we cut down, how about this, Mr. Parrot Head? How about you join us tomorrow, Wednesday night?
Wow, boy, he just called you out.
Hey, if he could advertise his channel,
I'm all for it. What do you think, Parrot Head? Do you think you could come on Wednesday?
We start at 10 o'clock Eastern, so it's not like we're starting early where you're going to be running late. And he said he'd
love to. We're very good. All right. Where are you located? I think it's probably Parrot Head. I'm thinking.
Oh, he said you'd have to do it late weekend, so maybe next Sunday, so he's not going to be on Wednesday night. So.
Okay. Well, why don't you, Parrot Head, get a hold of Chris offline? He's from Illinois. Okay. So you're Central. Get a hold of Chris down in the chat or on his Facebook group and set up a time when you can come in. Oh man, look at that! Put your money where your mouth is. We want to know stuff. Yeah, and that's what it's all about. We're all learning here. Everybody has something to offer. So yeah, I'd love to
And
listen to Parrothead.
Parenthood, I hope you know what the wife was joking when she says something like that.
Yeah, she's just teasing you. So anyway, yeah, get a hold of Chris on Facebook or whatever, and he'll give you the info on time and everything. We usually start a little early so we can make sure there's no
Yeah, you should
technical issues.
do that anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes before the show actually starts. That way, if anything's going on, I don't have to sit there and say at the very last minute, "Hold on, we're working on something." We'll work it out before.
Right. Exactly. So. Okay, he put, haha, I don't know everything about everything and always learning. Guys like you all are great for all of us. Well, you are too, man. We're all learning too. Trust me. I learn every show. I learn something. So
Heck, even when we're not in the show, you learned something. Tonight you learned about business policies before the show.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way everybody knows it all. That's for sure. So, all right. With that, Chris, you want to close us out?
I set this up to your channel, Parrothead. So there you go.
All right.
All right, everybody. With all that being said, I know a couple people already left and said good night. So we are going to say our good nights since we've been on for until 90 minutes, which is rare for us.
Right.
So we will see you Wednesday night, and hopefully we'll have a guest on. If not, we'll figure something out like we always do.
Yeah, we can wing it.
We'll see you then, and hope you have a good week. And don't forget, no mail tomorrow. It is a holiday.
Yeah, one more day to pack your stuff before you have to actually take it to the post office.
Good night, everybody.
Enjoy.